So Meghan Trainor canceled her tour. Nicole and the girls canceled their tour. Zayn, Kid Cudi, Post Malone, and J-Lo have all canceled their tours recently. And online, I keep seeing the same take. Fans just don't come out anymore. Nobody cares about live music. And I just don't buy that because Beyonce sells out stadiums, Sabrina Carpenter sells out arenas, and Chappell Roan has built an entire cult following off of live shows alone. Fans didn't just all of a sudden stop caring about live music. Fans just stopped overpaying for it. And I'm sorry to say, but if your tour needs Taylor Swift level of demand to like break even, then I got something to tell you. The problem might not be the fans. The problem might be the tour. And if you've ever looked at a ticket price and been like, you know what? I love you, but not that much. Like and subscribe. If you're new here, my name is Cedric. I make videos on pop music and pop culture, and let me actually set this up properly. Because I don't want to just come in here and be like, oh my gosh, concerts are too expensive. Like, yes, we know. Thank you. The average concert ticket in 2026 is over $130 USD. And that's just the face value. That's before the service fee, the faculty fee, the card fee, the we just felt like charging you more fee. And I get it. Like, inflation is real, production costs have gone up, and touring has gotten a lot harder after the pandemic. Like, I get it. All of that is true. But something shifted, right? It's not just me. Like, there was a moment where concerts stopped being something that you could just like go to. At some point, it started to become an activity that you had to budget for, like at least a year in advance. Like, I don't know about you, but to me, that's not normal. And I'm tired of being gaslit into thinking that it is. First off, I want to tell you about the moment where this all finally clicked for me, right? So, long story short, I was trying to see Ariana Grande. I love Ariana Grande, like genuinely, deeply. So, I go on Ticketmaster or SeatGeek or whatever it was, and I'm just like, how much are tickets to this upcoming Eternal Sunshine tour? They can't be that much. Like, let me just see what I'm working with. Girl, 600 American US dollars. You must be crazy. $600 for one ticket to stand in the arena in the general like standing section. And I just sat there staring at my laptop screen like, I love her, but like, I'm not doing that. And then, like, at the height of the whole Midnight Sun thing, I wanted to go and see Zara Larsson. And I was like, oh, well, Zara Larsson, like, she's becoming pretty big, but she's not like Ariana, like stadium level big yet. She will get there, but not yet. And then I go and I look at the ticket price, $300 after the fees. I was like, okay, that's better than 600. And to be fair, when I saw Beyonce, I think I paid like $660 or something, but that was different. And it was at that point that I realized I haven't been to a concert in like over a year. And it's not because I just all of a sudden stopped caring about the music. It's just because like every time that I try or I attempt to go, the math is just not mathing. Like the math just doesn't work. And I think a lot of us are in the same spot right now. Here's the thing that people often miss when they're talking about concert prices, because their main instinct is to focus on the ticket itself, right? Like as if that's the only problem that we're talking about. The ticket is just the entry fee. Because once you get in, you've got parking, you've got merch because you love them. So of course you want a hoodie or, I don't know, maybe a fan if you love them a lot. But who gets fans anymore? You know, I don't know. Definitely not me. You've got food because you ate at 5 p.m. The show is 3 hours long. The show is supposed to start at 7 p.m., but it doesn't actually start until 9 p.m. A $130 ticket becomes a $300 night very, very quickly. And that's being conservative. Now multiply that by 2 if you're going with a friend. Multiply that by 3 or 4 if you're going with a group of friends. What used to be a casual night out to go and see your favorite artist has become a event that you cannot do without a real financial conversation. And that really matters because a concert experience was never just about the artist. It was about the experience as a whole, the people you went with, the memories you were making. Okay, so how did we actually get here though? Because it didn't happen overnight. The short version is that the music industry figured out that recorded music was, in a word, worthless. Streaming pays fractions of a cent per play. So artists and labels started to look to touring as a real way to make money. And then after the pandemic, demand spiked. Like everyone wanted to go out. Going out felt urgent. Live music felt like you had to be there because, you know, we had all been locked in the house for months. So once everyone started to go out, go to live shows again, the industry was like, okay, perfect time to start raising prices. The CEO of Live Nation literally said, and I'm not making this up, that artists have been underpricing their concerts for years. Basically saying that the problem was that fans weren't paying enough. And that's when dynamic pricing was introduced. And if you're not sure what that is, basically dynamic pricing is just when ticket prices go up in real time based on the demand. So if a ticket to an Ariana Grande concert is like in high demand, the ticket prices will slowly but surely go up automatically. So they basically took the one thing that made a concert feel special, everyone wanting to be there, and turned it into a reason to charge more. And here we are. Now, I do want to make a distinction here that I think is important because there are artists who are charging a price that I think is worth the experience they're offering. Like if, for example, Beyonce announces a tour, yeah, you're probably going to pay a lot. Because Beyonce doesn't tour often. The production is massive and it genuinely is a once in a decade type of thing. I get that. The math makes sense. But not every artist is Beyonce. And I think a lot of artists have become comfortable. Like a lot of mid-tier and legacy acts started pricing their tours as if they were on a Beyonce level or a Taylor Swift level. And fans, especially younger fans, have started to figure that out. They're not saying, I don't want to go. They're saying, I don't want to go that badly. And that's a very different thing. That's marketing sending you a very clear signal. Like if you price your tour like you are a must-see event, but your fans know that it probably isn't, they're going to treat it like an optional one. Now, I want to talk about the Pussycat Dolls because this one's a lot. The Pussycat Dolls announced a reunion tour. Tickets go on sale, everyone's excited, right? And then they canceled the North American leg of their tour. I think the only place they're going to in North America is Pride in LA, if I'm not mistaken. But the thing about them is that the Pussycat Dolls that people remember had 5 members. This reunion had 3. Carmen and Jessica, 2 of the original members of the Pussycat Dolls, were not invited back. They found out they weren't coming back the same way that we did, publicly, which is insane. So you're selling us a reunion concert for a group when 40% of the group that people associate the artist group with is missing at full reunion prices. And I'm not saying fans like did the exact math of like, well, who's gonna be there and do I really wanna go if there's only 3 members? Like, I don't know if it was that deep, but do I think they felt it? Definitely. Like, I think everybody felt like something was off. Like the concept is just blurry and I'll catch the next one if there is a next one. And the problem with that is like when you can't define exactly what you're selling to the people who are trying to buy it, people then can't decide if they want to buy it. And apparently, a lot of them didn't. Meghan Trainor canceled her Get It Girl tour. The official reason was family. She just had a baby. There was some health stuff going on with her children. And I genuinely believe that that played a role. But tickets were selling on Groupon for $22. $22. I do believe that should tell us at least a little bit about where the demand was for this tour. And Zayn's tour was also canceled. He cited health reasons, which may be completely true, but there were also reports of soft ticket sales. Both things can be real at the same time. And I think that's honestly the more honest story here. It's rarely just one reason. It's usually low demand, the math isn't mathing, and then of course there are personal things that come along that affect everything as a whole. The one thing that I do believe though is that tours are not canceled because artists are lazy or they just don't care. I think the main reason they are canceled is because someone in a boardroom somewhere built a budget that assumed a demand level that just wasn't there. And what is the best way to stop a tour before it starts? You price it for a version of yourself or your brand that only exists in your head. Now, I want to be clear about something before anybody comes for me. I am not here to drag artists. I'm an artist myself. My goal is not here to drag singers and performers, especially because most artists aren't the ones that are setting the prices. Touring is expensive, like financially, logistically. It is a very, very expensive venture to go down. You've got a crew, a production team, transportation, venues, insurance, like the overhead is real. And then you lay on Ticketmaster, Live Nation, the venues cuts, the promoters cuts, the managers cuts. Like by the time all of that is settled, the artist ends up taking home a lot less than you think they do. The real issue is just that the industry has gotten bloated. There are too many middlemen who are taking their own cut and taking away from the artists themselves. The artist is not the one that is robbing their fans. It's the infrastructure, it's the industry. And the frustrating part is that even the artists that do their best to keep prices reasonable are fighting against an industry that basically only wants the highest prices possible. Like it takes real actual intentionality to resist it, and not every artist or team has that. Now, this is embarrassing, but I have to be honest with you about my experience with this whole thing. I'm releasing an EP in August and I'm doing 2 shows on a cruise ship to support that EP. And when I first started planning it, like I had so many ideas. I would have, 6 different dancers and like all this lighting and all the, LED visuals in the background and basically just full choreography, full production. I was locked in. Like I had all of these ideas for what the show would be. And then I started to look at the numbers and it was like, oh, that's a lot more zeros than I initially thought there would be. I don't know. It just felt like reality showed up with a calculator and was just like, hey, baby, it's time to humble you. But then I had to ask myself, like, what really matters here? What is the intention behind this show, right? What makes the show feel special? Is it the production? Is it the connection with the audience? Because I've been to huge shows that felt really cold. And I've been to tiny shows that felt like, a massive experience. Shows where everyone in the room felt like we were all in on the same thing, on the same, experience. And out of those two options, the second one was the one that I always would prefer because the memory stayed. The emotion, the feeling that I felt in that space is what stayed with me. I think the industry needs to rediscover that smaller, real, and correctly priced concerts will always beat a massive, overproduced concert that is priced out of reach of most of your fan base. Not every show needs to be an event. Some shows just need to be good. A few things that I wish the concerts would start doing or things that I think would help is, first of all, give us one price, one fee. Put the full pricing on the ticket listing, day one. I don't want to see, the ticket is $45, but then by the time I check out, we're now at $100. Like, just put the actual number, respect people's intelligence and respect their time. I also think that we need tiered pricing that actually means something. Not like general admission versus the floor, where the floor is $400. Like, we need real options, real access points. Not everyone needs the front row. Like, give us a real actual choice. I also think that artists and their teams need to be more practical about the right size of the tour. Artists and their teams need to be realistic, right? If you were a 5,000 seater artist, don't book a 20,000 seater venue and then wonder why it's empty. A packed small room is way more impactful and important than an empty massive room. And lastly, break up with Ticketmaster when you can. I know it's not easy, but I know that some artists have done it. And the fans notice. They will definitely show up for the artist that they feel like is actually fighting for them and fighting for them to be able to have an experience at a cost that is not going to, compromise their well-being. And I don't think any of what I just said is revolutionary. I think we as fans are just asking to stop being treated like an ATM and being treated like the backbone that is supporting the career of the artist that we love. I think the concert industry has spent years telling itself that fans will pay anything to see the artist they love. And fans, especially younger fans, are proving that that is not true. And they're not out here protesting. They're not out here, tweeting all day about how ridiculous the system is. They're just using their money not with you. They're just not buying. And when tickets don't sell, tours get canceled. And when tours get canceled, everyone acts like they're confused. But I don't think there's like a mystery or anything here to be confused by. People love live music. People love their favorite artists. People love being in that room full of other fans who love that artist. All they need is for the math to make sense. Fans didn't stop caring. They just stopped overpaying. And that's a totally different problem, but it's one that has a solution. So, yeah. I would love to hear from you guys though. What is the most that you've spent on a concert? I think the most I've spent is probably $660. That Beyonce concert was the most, but I mean, it's Beyonce, it was worth it. But I want to know, what is the most you've spent? And don't lie, be honest. If you made it this far, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I love you guys very, very much. And I will see you all in the next one.